defensive side for me, and he's going to make all the big stops that need to happen. First Killer is going to be a support. Typical's going to be dishing the ball in the midfield. Gen.G, I think, definitely got their work cut out for them. They've been equal to the task times before, but now they play the 1 seed. This is tough this early on in the bracket. Can they do it? Certainly. It's just an uphill fight.
And if you just look at the goals scored at the top of North America so far this season, there's 2 FaZe players in the top 4. That's First Killer and Mist. And then there's Jack and Chronic, literally interspersed at 2 and 4. Or excuse me, 3 and 5. So these guys are locked tight together. Apparently Jack literally 1 less goal than First Killer so far this season. These guys know how to score. And that could lead to one of 2 things. We could see a shootout, but we know how good, like you were saying, about Mist on defense, but also on offense. It could end up being 0-0s across the way. Let's see how this one how it flushes itself out.
I did like how Nolly and them were looking yesterday in their match against G2. Now you can always make the argument, G2 on a bit of a slip and slide, maybe a little tilted, frustrated from how their Swiss run ran out. They were able to execute against an incredibly stingy defense. So that's really where Genji has to get back to that point, moving the ball very well across the midfield and finding each other with the passing lanes. It's where all the work's got to get done for Gen.G.
Both teams have just kind of boomed the other team's attempt to cross the field. Even right here, Chronic booming it out. Missed. Leading apparently Jack on the right side.
Okay.
Genji's still trying to figure this out, and another block.
Like an attempt at change of pace from Gen.G when they get on the offense. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work out. Missed off the backboard. Typical says, buy a little time here. No need to press too hard. Let's make sure we keep map presence as we control the midfield boost. It's a bit of a give and take there from FaZe. Maybe they give a little too much, but at the same time, they remain solid and unlikely to concede here.
Ooh, dangerous pass. First Killer. Too much height on that ball. Mist was sitting a little low. Gen.G are able to stick. They got both midfield boosts. Apparently Jack wanted that pass, but he got stuck on the side wall. And Gen.G actually managed that pretty well. The offensive play broke down, but then good job by Chronic to handle the ball, not dump it out, give it right in the spot to Nolly. FaZe do get control back. Typical stole it away. Chronic and Nolly working to get the ball out.
This one may come all the way down to the mix-ups, if that makes sense. I mean, neither team particularly likes to jam the box super hard. They tend to favor positioning a little bit more and capitalize on where they think the clears are going. So when you get a little bit of that stutter step going on the approach, you may end up in a better spot. As nice clear from Nolly over the head is typical and forces a mini reset from FaZe.
First Killer playing deep here, Missed on the wing. Now they're in full retreat. Big reset from Chronic. Got underneath it. Beautiful goal.
Hello, Chronic, to scoop up that midfield boost that was left waiting. And the perfect flip reset. Caught it clean and instant flip to the back corner. I mean, it's just a lot to handle very quickly for this FaZe defenders. Couldn't hang with it. Beautiful shot.
And that's Chronic's 34th goal of the season. Good to tie, or close to tying the number 4 spot.
Okay.
First Killer pushing that out. Typical. Keep apparently Jack on ice for now, but he's found his way. You see Nolly getting harassed on the back end by First Killer, so he can't go, and FaZe will get out.
And apparently Jack was looking for Nolly over there, and that's that physicality from FaZe breaking up that vision, that idea from Gen.G. Solid enough clear. Apparently Jack, how do you get this one middle, though? FaZe is back quick. And it worked out anyway. Wow.
It did get through. I was wondering it as well. It looked like a solid set. Typical. Cutting apparently Jack under, and he just hit with it hard. He took advantage of the little bit of space Typical gave him. Picked the right option with a hard bang off the back wall.
He had a chance there to go up and fight for that ball in the corner, but he was like, I'll let it bounce and see where it goes after that. Wrong choice right there, buddy. Unlucky.
Apparently Jack on top of that one as well. And FaZe the ball back downfield. Missed open up the scoring for FaZe. Lets it drop. What? Okay. You saw the commit from Gen.G. Forces Chronic off the wall. Typical will keep it out.
Not expecting Mist to not come up with a touch there. Everyone a little too tight for FaZe, and now they're just trying to stick it in the blue side and see if they can capitalize that way. It's obviously going to be the game plan with 2 to find and under a minute to do it. This one might work out. Here's first killer right at Nolly, and he's got the pace behind it. They give themselves some breathing room with 52 seconds.
Apparently, Jack flies into first killer's screen, but easily thwarted on the attempted demo, and then he's given a gift with a beautiful clear right to his bumper. He's able to split the lead. Only 4 shots on net, but only 2 more for Gen.G as well. We'll see if they can hang on this final minute.
Oh, and he's looking for Nolly, who's up so quick, but unfortunately the touch way too close to the FaZe offense, and they quickly spread the field to try and give themselves as many looks as possible. There's the shimmy shake from Mist, and apparently Jack playing tight support on defense, not wanting to give anything away.
Oh, Nolly's going to be there, but first killer does a great job covering that ball up. Left it to apparently Jack, who had a full, almost a full tank as he left. And FaZe able to stop the challenges from Gen.G, but they're running out of time in game 1. Hard hit downfield and just could not find the read. Typical. Was hoping there'd be a little more height. Not quite over. Nolly protecting the ball. Got him over with the flip reset. Typical sets up Mist. First killer's already downfield. Chronic, is he going to give him the look? Absolutely not. That ball.
Whoa, the lip.
FaZe given a chance. 0 boost though here for first killer.
Yeah.
GG for game 1 for Gen.G.
Tough for FaZe right there. They finally kind of got the offense under them. Figured they would have a bit more effectiveness in terms of moving the ball through the midfield, but it's actually Gen.G controlling pace of play for the most part. That final minute definitely leaning FaZe's way, but that's to be expected as they're the ones who have to score, and they're going to throw everything against the wall and see what sticks. But man, way to go. I mean, the big X factor, obviously, that flip reset from Chronic right there all the way to the back post. He had 2 FaZe people and then a small miscue from Typical right there, not going up and fighting for the ball, giving a little bit of extra space, and Genji jumped all over both of those.
And despite FaZe really trying to pull Gen.G off on some of these plays and catch them out, because apparently Jack was sitting downfield pretty often, waiting for an outlet pass. But he's so good about rotating right back into where he needs to be if the pass doesn't go that way, or if FaZe break it up. FaZe did break a lot of those up. Gen.G never really lost enough control, enough of those 50s to where they had to react to FaZe.
Yeah, that's actually a really great point. I mean, that's really where FaZe Clan makes a lot of its money, so to speak. You know, they win all those subsequent challenges, and very similar to other top offense. Okay, hey, nice pass, Typical. That one's absolutely money for him. Look straight on his nose. Here comes the juice.
He's like, that pass was so good, I'm not going to let him get those points. Those are, here you go, Sip. Nice pass, bro.
Apparently, Jack, obviously miscued. Just
119.
trying to throw it into the corner. Whoops, tapped at his net.
And UK units, that was 119 kilometers per hour for Jack, so he can hang his hat on that one.
Absolutely smashed it.
First killer. Decent pass out for FaZe. Typical. Nice soft touch. An open net. First killer should nail it. And Nolly helps him out. Says, how about 2 for you? First killer gets it.
I mean, it's to be expected. That's a great flick from Typical. That's really the play that seals the deal. You can't really expect first killer to miss that. He is thinking that he's probably going to put it in between the posts, so he's just trying to get there, and unlucky for him, ends up jamming it into his own net. Tough start in game 2 on Aquadome. That's not where you want to be for Gen.G, but I think with 2 like that, you kind of just got to laugh it off and say, okay, handicap set, let's go get him.
Yeah, definitely not going to fault Nolly for that one. I'm still looking at you, Jack. Nolly. Get much going. Typical now. He's winning that challenge in front. Chronic gets harassed back to his own corner, but puts him right on the backboard to safely carry the ball back out, seeing all the space that FaZe gave him.
Yeah, that was actually great recognition. It's very easy when you're kind of camped up there on that backboard with no speed to get a little antsy and think, okay, I want to dismount, I want to get my wheels back under me, I want to have more control over my positioning, and Chronic thinks, nah, I'm already up here and they're giving me a lot, so I'm going to take it. I'll let it bounce and come down that way and not be wasteful. It's great recognition.
Jack, midfield boost spawned for him, but the 50 rolled straight out to first killer. Nolly was ready for it. Well, now all FaZe have to wait for Chronic. He's got more space, but lost control. Typical happily takes the 50 back to their own corner. Pretty good for FaZe. They not really letting Gen.G win. Like we were talking about the challenge game, right? FaZe winning all those subsequent 50s. Oh, what's happening here now after those early goals?
And Genji, I mean, they're they're getting a lot of space to work with in general. Right here, Typical's there for it, but I mean, FaZe, they're happy at this point. 3 minutes left. They're like, we'll go camp on it if we have to, but every now and again, you get a chance fall on your lap. Typical makes a big one. Double insurance now, up off the ceiling, away from everyone. Ooh. And how about the quick recovery off the wall? Don't see that one very often.
That was such a beautiful play from Typical. Looking at Chronic's cam, you know, he's seeing that ball come across the wall, and he positions himself to grab the rebound. But then Typical just pole vaults it onto the ceiling, and now your camera's whipped upwards, and oh, that's awkward. You can't get to it. Excellent job from Typical for sure. And FaZe, I mean, what a response achieved.
And now you go even deeper back if you're FaZe. I mean, yeah, Typical doesn't even bother. He's like, I'm gonna take the boost and I'll go challenge you. Like, Mist is in the net, it's fine. Like, here's really, Mist doesn't even bother. He's like, I'll just wait. And he sees Chronic can't handle it.
Ooh, first, get the double there. The funny thing is, there's still so much game time on the clock.
Yeah.
And Gen.G, they could get it going here soon, but they have 0 shots on net.
Can't be too surprised, I guess. It's okay,
that's
that's okay though. I mean, like, it's a tip back. Sure. It's not what you're looking for, but at the same time, you already know First Killer's not committing. You're not trying to score right there, so it's not like he's gonna get caught out. And First Killer thought about it, but FaZe more than content to say, bring us the ball, man. If you want to beat us, you're gonna have to work extra hard and make a huge outplay somewhere.
Well, that pass not quality enough. Right into the defender. It's Typical. He might got deleted, but got the flick off.
Ooh, okay.
Decent pinch from Chronic. Nolly's ready and just can't get enough of it. Didn't have enough boost either. Jack shot right into Typical. First Killer gets to the ball. Chronic just a little late. Nolly with control. Gen.G just can't get anything going. They're stuffed every time. They get back to the orange half. And there's a touch that doesn't go their way, or First Killer, Typical, or Mist are there to just win the 50 and force them to retreat to blue.
If you guys are wondering how to play when you got a 3-goal lead in ranked, do what this is. It's not like FaZe are just, well, that's just unlucky.
Yeah, do that.
Don't do
when
that.
You're up 3-0, do that.
Don't do that. That's just unlucky. I mean, First Killer, little back pass, miscommunication from FaZe, Typical trying to control it. And Chronic's just in the right place at the right time. Jumps all over a little mistake. That's fair. Sometimes those happen. But across the board, I mean, FaZe on offense right now, it's not even really offense. It's token pressure. Like, they're like, okay, I'm in position, so I'm going to drive at you to force you to do something. Like right there, Mist, he doesn't actually go for a challenge there. He's just like, I'm just going to drive here so you have to make a play. And I'm making it as easy as possible for the 2 people behind me to make the read. And now that the other team has to score, they're going to try and make plays. They'll make a miscue every now and again, like right here, it's a weak touch from Jack. And First Killer's right there for it because they're playing deep back and they're saying, you got to beat us and you have to be perfect to do it. And that's how you close people out in the Pro League, in ranked play. It doesn't matter. You just drive at people, you force them to show their hand. If you don't have to score, you don't have to force anything. And FaZe is executing on that 100% right now.
Gen.G sent the house on the last play. While it started well, it's kind of back to the drawing board after Aquadome. FaZe really locking it down. And it's funny about FaZe because last season, they won the very first regional in the 21-22 season. And so they do the same thing this season, and a lot of people are thinking, okay, is it just going to be the same top 4 FaZe? But everyone wants to see a little bit more. As much as we've all been high on FaZe, but like how they're looking right now, this game number 2 is like a microcosm again of what I think people expect this FaZe roster to be. They get the offense when they need it. Granted, Gen.G, yeah, they helped them out a little bit on Aquadome. But FaZe kind of create that atmosphere, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you've got all the pieces in the right place to force them to try and make a play. And every now and again, in this exact instance, a couple of them worked out in your favor in a row. So you just got to sit on this massive lead early. And that's the way to do it. I mean, that's the impressive part. It's like you can see FaZe here out shooting Gen.G. What is that? 8-4.
Yeah.
And they weren't actually trying to pressure. They're just like, okay, we've got a 2-0 lead with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. You know what I mean? So we're just going to sit here.
I don't feel like Gen.G's touches were quality enough, like on the few chances they did have,
That's the hard part, right? Because
you didn't get them a lot, right? And then you missed the one chance.
Yeah, and it's like creating your quality opportunities is doubly hard when the playing field's not level, you know, because it's like FaZe is like, fine, bring us the ball. Like you have to score, you have to do something, and I'm gonna wait until you have to commit to something, and then I'm gonna get in your face and make it as hard as possible. And if you score, more power to you, but it's not gonna be for free. And that's the power of playing that way deep back when you get that early lead, and they kind of just put it, as Daz likes to say, they put a hand up. You know, it's just presence. They're not trying to score on you, but they're going to get in your face. Like right here, Typical, he says, cool, there's a lot of pressure because someone on FaZe is driving around the net. It's First Killer getting in Chronic's face. Nolly has to make this awkward touch, and now they're like, guys, where are we at? And they can't get a hand up.
Well, Achieves, they're not trying to score. They're born that way.
I'm just in the right spot.
They came out the womb scoring.
Ready to go.
Another goal for FaZe at the very start. Making Gen.G uncomfortable on defense. Where do you start with Gen.G? As Nolly lets that one come out. Chronic misses the read. And Gen.G being outscored in the last 6 minutes of gameplay.
Oh, that's so unlucky. I actually really liked Chronic's play right there. I mean, he tried to come from behind the person air dribbling the ball towards the net and wanted to hit it hard off the backboard. And he accomplished that goal. Unfortunately, the bounce it took just went straight back down into the middle rather than kind of hovering or going at a more horizontal direction as Nolly tries to get a sick catch and try and get around First Killer. But Gen.G, that second goal to give up was tough. You think maybe they could have found a way out of it with a different bounce. But now again, same situation. FaZe Clan, 4 minutes on the clock. They're up 2. Here comes people. They're just going to get in your face. Like, Mist doesn't even challenge. He says, look, I'm going to make you flick it. And then we're both camped out on the defense. It's like they forced you to show your hand. It's like you have to do something because here I come. And then, nope, I'm not going to be there.
You can feel the desperation from Gen.G too, because First Killer had the backboard. And apparently Jack is still diving at that ball, full throttle. And they just can't get the touch that they want. Get First Killer again. He will not let them have any real estate on the backboard, but finally Nolly keeps spacing. Typical just levitates. No problem. Nolly, another
just waiting.
This is good for Gen.G. Jack's in the air. Typical's in the way. Here comes another Chronic. Underneath. That shot's not going to get it done. Nolly, he's going to keep that touch close. Jack files in behind him, but again, Typical not going to let you through. They need something with a little more power.
Okay, there we
Jack
go.
Maybe get something here. Maybe a bump on top of it could help, but
that pays off.
Boost deal. Yeah.
That's the challenge game there for Gen.G. They get the big key block. They keep it in the FaZe half. They get a couple boost steals, and now it's extending that offensive stay, giving them more chances. And now you kind of force FaZe Clan to, okay, now you got to go clear the ball so you can have a little more time. And unfortunately, that miss from Nolly may have bought them that time.
Scrum here in the corner. Pops up decently for Chronic, but he had to use a lot of his boost to get to that ball.
Trap, yep. Right play.
Oh, Jack went for the read, and First Killer's gonna make him pay, falls it off! Oh, how many times has First Killer just taken the game into his own hands there? Let it fly for Typical, and they couldn't put it on target. Gen.G.
Wow.
Sitting on this deficit, just can't get anything done. They get stuffed again. Is it in? Oh, saved First Killer.
Okay.
Oh, he missed it. Apparently Jack up. He's got the first read. The third goal would surely put it in the nail. And yep, the nail goes in the coffin there probably. I mean, FaZe are just unreal right now. Clinical performance so far.
Man, apparently Jack, to be fair, he tried his hardest. He knew FaZe was going to get up in his face right there, and he's trying to get that air dribble started, but just could never get the control, the momentum on the ball to go the right direction. And the support came through for FaZe. Tough game 3 for Gen.G. I mean, you're only down by 3 with 2 minutes. That's a decent amount of time, and I'm not a big fan of saying games are over with any significant amount of time left, but the approach that FaZe is taking is not one that it really feels like Gen.G have the firepower to capitalize on. Of course, right as I say that, here's a missed touch. A little awkward ball for First Killer, gets beat out. Typical's caught, grab, and boost. And Nolly says, there's one back. We may still be in it.
That's what happens when you play defense so well for so long. You're like, yeah, First Killer, he's there. I'm just going to go get the boost.
He's got it.
Yeah, I don't need to be second man here. But you let Gen.G in the door. You let a wheel in, Achieves, and it's pretty hard to keep the car out. FaZe, if any team are going to do it, it's definitely them. But Gen.G start the clock a little earlier this time. The last time they went down 3-0, they did not score their first goal until just a minute in.
He just jumped at that. He's like, yep, have to go that way. Like, he's just getting in their face. He doesn't care if it goes into a scoreable spot or not. He's just like, as long as you don't get to do whatever you're trying to do, I'm happy.
Good hit there for first killer. Nolly misses the read. And first killer weaving his way through. Nolly, no boost on his challenge, but he did give Chronic a chance at it. And first killer just gets the catch. Jack is forced again into the air on that 50. Now we're starting to get some of those touches in midfield. Relies on Chronic and Jack here. How do they draw this up? Nolly sees the path. There's just too much on the FaZe defense that get broken out. First killer pops it up. Maybe something on the transition here. Typical, no boost. Not going to have to even contend for the ball.
Ooh, okay. Little hiccup there in FaZe. Double commit. So they're both in the same
spot,
go. And they may pay for it. Yep.
Okay.
You see him kind of get colliding with there on the sidewall. They don't actually hit each other, but it's a big miscue. Mist and first killer both hit that ball, so Mist kind of has to recover back to his net and gets put in a weird spot trying to play support for Typical. Can't make the play. Straight back to Gen.G, so another small mistake from FaZe. They let him in the door a little more, but they may get one back on kickoff, and first killer, he is into time waste mode. Straight to the corner, says, yeah, good luck.
And the hood has appeared. Past the wheel. Nolly going for the demo on first killer, but he avoids it and plops himself in the perfect spot for the transition. Now flicks it over one. Typical goes for the reset, but he's got no boost. That one off. Maybe one more chance here. Jack sees Chronic. Chronic rips it on top. Oh, off target, just high. Here comes another shot from Chronic, but it's blocked. Popped up. Can they keep it in the air? Taken off by the back wall, and Typical wins it on the touch. FaZe Clan up in the series 2-1.
Boy. I mean, that read from Typical, that's one where you catch your breath a little bit as FaZe Clan. That's how you almost throw the game in rank. You make little tiny mistakes, you let them back in, even though you're in a position where you should never be losing. But every now and again, you just don't play perfectly. That's the hard thing about Rocket League. Doesn't matter if you're bronze to one of the best teams in the world, the little mistakes matter. This is a game that punishes imperfection. FaZe almost slipped up there.
Gen.G were starting to get some quality touches or quality passes, really. I feel like a lot of their attempted passes were either just too hard. FaZe were always in position, like great positioning overall to cut those passes off.
Yeah.
It started to break down even before their first goal went in. Like Gen.G started finding some breathing room. So that might be an indication of this series turning back in their favor a little bit.
They're trying to figure out how they can move the ball around, because now they're seeing it's like, oh, they're just driving at us just to make us do something. Well, let's assume they're not going to actually force the challenge that they
punish them for, right?
And yeah, you got to take the space because, well, to be fair, they're only doing that when they get this nice early lead of 2 goals with
that's fair.
A bunch of time on the clock. So maybe if you just get through the first minute and don't concede 2, you'll be in a little bit better position. Who knows?
Ooh, Jack sees Chronic downfield. There's Typical again. MVP of the last game and had a lot of big stops in the second half of the last game, and now they've missed the ball. Jack has to make the stop. Mist got the backhand touch there. You know, the smash equivalent of the reverse hitbox, I'd say.
For real.
Like,
it was wild, and here's what you're kind of more expecting. Like, this is where FaZe, like, they got to score. Now they push. Now they really try and take the ball away from you. And here's where Gen.G's got to do their damage. Apparently, Jack hits the post. Close call.
Chronic not over. On the reset. Gets by FaZe. Typical left with no boost on the wall. The first killer helped him out. Jack waiting to receive this. Gen.G can manage their space well on defense. Now FaZe starting to inch forward a little bit, and that's a great boom from Jack, but not enough. Mist just reeled it right back at him. Here they come again, another slingshot. Over to the side.
Not really getting good touches on the ball, FaZe. I mean, they had a bunch of time and space to work with in the midfield, and nobody could really bring the ball under control. That's a nice challenge for Mist in the corner, but the shot denied by Chronic. FaZe trying to get it reset, and this one's up towards the wall again. Chronic's waiting for it. Missing the demo in the goal, excuse me. And Gen.G, that was a really nice defensive stint.
Ooh, good touch from Typical. Chronic into rotation. Kept it close, actually. Typical got the boost steal. First killer cut in a little bit hard. But look at him make it work, almost. Get that 50 against Nolly. Missed it. And Jack's there. Gen.G doing enough to stagger that approach. First killer tried to be quick with it, but ended up dropping the ball. Still missed, has it. Dropped it straight down on the 50. First killer over to the corner, but then he ran into Mist. I think first killer wanted to continue that. Mist gets pushed back. Gen.G doing a good job of pushing FaZe back when you think they're going to finally start inching forward. They get that quality touch. They get that quality challenge. And here's Jack again. Does he get the 50 against first killer? He does. Typical's next up. And there's no one really in. Well, no, Mist made it work. He was pretty far on that. Oh, maybe Chronic could have got there, but now up high, it drops straight down. No one from FaZe can get there.
Here's where you got to be careful if you're Gen.G. You don't want to fall back into that trap of clearing the ball the same way over and over and over, because then everyone kind of starts to fight for the same boost pads. That's when you really get starved out. And Gen.G in general, doing a really nice job moving the ball both back and forth across their own net to kind of hold off that wave of FaZe attack. It's really not FaZe trying to shove as hard as they can and break you down. It's kind of FaZe saying, look, we've got control. Are you going to make a mistake or maybe beat yourselves a little bit? And Gen.G doing a nice job not blinking.
Good touch from Jack back over to the corner. Gen.G finding each other in the spaces. And they've been winning that possession battle a little more. Great three-man passing play. A beautiful design. Jack pops it right in.
They see it all connect. Chronic with a great challenge. Dish it back, but don't be greedy. Don't go for the shot. Dish it into the middle. Let apparently Jack size up where the hole is in the net. He can see it a lot better than you can. Beautiful vision from Gen.G. And the shot. Perfect.
Nolly trying to get it going, and he had forced that first defender off the ball for FaZe, going for the bump after he dropped that initial pass.
It's a rarity, Jorby, in this series. FaZe actually has to do something now. That's too high.
What? Whoa! Chronic gets the goal here. A little awkward. You see, first killer rotating back. He's trying to pick up the small pads and avoid Nolly at the same time. He hit that first touch, and Chronic's inertia just carries him right back into the ball. It bounced out inwards and then into the net.
You're not upset if you're first killer. You understand.
You shouldn't be.
But you are sad. I mean, the fact he even kept the first one out is impressive. He was under a lot of heat in that net. Gen.G jumped all over him.
Great job from Gen.G.
That was a beautiful play from Gen.G, executing the 2-on-1 to perfection. And FaZe Clan finally having to find some way, actually need to press to score. Can't just camp out in the midfield and show fake challenges and manipulate the challenge timing. Now they really got to do something.
Hard kick. Missed a good catch, first killer. Tried to get Jack to bite early or force him off the play with a demo, but Jack just wins a couple of touches. Typical waiting in the corner.
Down to him.
How's he going to sauce this one up? Typical. Taken away, but forced a double commit. First killer. Just too much hang time and has to drop the ball to Jack.
And everyone expecting Typical to go into the midfield with that one back to his teammate, but trying to do it himself. It's a little greedy, but at the same time, if he would have scored it, we would have called him a genius. Chronic is trying to concoct another wizard of a goal. And FaZe Clan, unfortunately, going to concede a game back. They will be tied up at 4. Gen.G, you want to ask what won Gen.G this one? Defense. Great plays. I mean, this whole first half of the game was them camped out on defense. You don't see a lot of saves because, honestly, they didn't have to... Oh, no, sorry, I'm reading FaZe Clan stats. They did have to make a lot of saves.
I was about to say, I'm seven of those.
Against the 7 shots from FaZe Clan. My mistake. I can read, and I know my colors, I promise. But man, that whole first half of the game, that was FaZe's time to get it going in their favor, get the pressure, hold the lead, and they couldn't do it. Gen.G, lights out defensively, moved the ball wonderfully, found each other when they finally got the counterattack going, and that was how you play defense against a tough team.
felt like first touch quality was a lot better from Chronic in particular. I felt like he was.
Yeah, they weren't own goals. It was great. No, I'm kidding.
No own goals. Gen.G, you could argue maybe they beat themselves a little bit. For my mark, I do think FaZe pushed the nose a little bit on them. But now we head to Wasteland, all evened up. And man, today has just been. It's been insane. Like, you really.
It's the marathon.
You think you start getting a beat on a series. And so many regionals have gone this way in the past, right? A team takes control. I mean, they rarely give it up. You see a lot of give and go, but like, I truly don't know how it's going to shake up from here. I felt this way all day, and it's exactly the same here with Gen.G and FaZe.
Yeah, that's a big win for Gen.G. It's like the full reset button, because FaZe are like, okay, I mean, we finally had to actually play offense, and we really couldn't get anything done. So you kind of scratch your head a little bit. Like, obviously, you won the last 2 games because you got ahead early and you got to camp out, but now you're deep into the best of 7, you know what I mean? Next game is advantage. And you kind of got locked out in game 4. So you're a little bit hesitant here. You're trying to figure out what you need to do to actually break Gen.G down, and you're kind of scratching your head because, as we mentioned, there's a lot of offense on FaZe. They get a lot done.
I mean, Gen.G for the same mark, though. They're real close to FaZe. But out of the bar and missed, has to grab a quick bounce. He couldn't handle it. Typical has to wait. Apparently, Jack not going to let him. Now Chronic going to push the ball forward. First killer. He makes the stop. Nolly knew he was going to grab it, so he'll go for the control. First killer. Pinched it off the ceiling. Oh, Chronic going for the read, cutting off the higher option. Now Jack and Chronic really making FaZe think about them on defense. Like, there's a couple different options they could have taken there. Is it a pass? Is he going to go for the demo? It's going to freeze you on the back line. It makes it that much harder to get control of the game. Gen.G with Chronic again, forcing the 50 out. Nolly's already jumped. Gets it around 1. Gen.G winning every touch, beating FaZe of the ball.
You're looking for your playmakers here on FaZe to break you through this kind of gridlock that you've entered into game 5. You're looking for first killer to make the big mechanical outplay somewhere in the midfield. You're looking for Typical to get the big jam. Mist to either be the put-away guy or another big block in the midfield. Somewhere along the line, you're looking for FaZe to make the big play. That's really what they thrive on.
Nolly gets his touch out to Jack. All of FaZe have pulled off. They'll happily let the rebound come down, but not grabbing the rebound. This one comes out to Chronic. Back to Jack. A good pass at first killer. Shaded that the whole way through. Now punches it in reverse, but ball will not fall in his lap. Chronic recovers quickly and got a quick pass out. Jack was hoping to get there a little faster, but they do keep the pressure up. And FaZe, I mean, they're playing second fiddle right now. They're a little slower. First killer's still trying to bump the back end, but Chronic's got the ball! And he's still got to get the double tap, but it's still there! Oh, what a save from Typical!
Wow.
And it's off the post! Typical had no boost. He jumped and prayed, and he had his prayer answered. Here he comes! Ooh. 2 touches in front! Oh, the dunk denied! Chronic got the save. First it was Jack, then it was Chronic. Typical, hang on a second. Pulls it fast. Goes in front. That's a dunk pass.
That's okay.
That's a dunk pass for my mark.
Everyone take a moment to breathe. I mean, the hero save from Typical keeps FaZe in it. Gen.G, a beautiful couple of pushes. Tester for Mist, obviously no problem, but it comes at the cost of their corner boost. Possession paramount here for FaZe, and unfortunately they lose it. Now they've only got 1 boost pad to work with, and you can't afford a mistouch now.
These 50s for Mist. Chronic chance. Timing on the dodge from Typical. Drill that ball in the corner. Now he's got boost and control. Kicks Jack back to his half.
Oh, and he missed.
Nolly ends up being the one to stuff it. Well, like you said, the miss not helping, but what a ripper of a shot! Typical off the bar. He had to get over apparently Jack, and now Nolly slips underneath. Wow.
Oh, he's through. Wow.
Wait,
I got through.
That might be a 2-on-1. Hang on, Typical. Now it's enough time. The Bumpy's got him. Typical airstrike on the ground. Assault from Mist.
You really thought apparently Jack was going to be able to stop this one at the midfield line, but got beat. Not sure if he was under pressure exactly, but FaZe finally slipped past. And then it does indeed become the 2-on-1. They get the bump to make sure that Typical has a clear fly zone. Delivers a big one, and hey, you got to just hold out. You can't afford to play a little... Oh, no! I was about to say, you can't afford anything to go wrong. This went wrong.
Wow, Jack just dropped the ball. Typical. He goes up thinking Jack's gonna drill the ball into him. Jack sees Typical literally drive up and he just lets go. And then Typical, he only had like 20 boosts. So he comes back down. What are you gonna do after that? Now it just looks silly. Nolly gets the clear, but that was all set up from Jack, recognizing the situation in front of him, leaving the ball, and giving Nolly the chance at a shot. Just like that, when you thought FaZe might push it forward.
Back into the blender.
Right back, absolutely.
Oh boy.
I've been tense. Ooh, Chronic. Jack needs some quality touches here. Good stuff from Mist.
Oh man.
But Nolly actually almost had that. First kill is going to help out. Good for Gen.G.
Really liking the Mist challenge game in the corner when he has to buy the time. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we're not trying to break out. We're just trying to hold on for a moment. And he's been getting the job done back there in the defensive corners with those.
Typical. Ooh, it bounced with under a second. I wouldn't do that with Chronic behind the ball.
Just kill it. They don't have a lot of boost. Just
put it on the ground. All six players take a quick breath. And we're in overtime. This is for match point on Wasteland night. Gen.G. Looks like they've had the better part of the pressure. Jack's in the air and saved by first killer. It's going to be a tough angle for Jack no matter what. The Chronic moves it across.
He put the fear in Mist, that's for sure, though. Mist heard him jump, and he realized he had to get up to try and make a save. He's very fortunate first killer's diving across net, too. I don't know if they would have kept that out without him.
Typical. Tried to line that one up against Chronic. Gen.G just ready for it in the midfield. Now he's going to let it go for Jack. I don't know if for certain. Oh, they're going to get it right over Chronic! Chronic's caught looking! His pants are down! FaZe!
I'm pretty confident. I think he got scared. Well, no, he doesn't. Like, I thought maybe because Mist was coming at him, I thought maybe he saw Mist and he started to try and move forward to try and cut off the 2v1 before it really started.
Right.
But Mist was coming in pretty late before Typical got there, and I don't really know. I think Chronic just misread what was going to happen there. Obviously, it's tough to read that Typical's just going to go straight for the net with pace like that. But at the same time, it kind of looked like he started moving forward a little bit early before Mist was really coming for him. Either way, tough break for Gen.G.
Yeah, that one, you probably wish you would have made a. That's one where you go back and you're like, if I waited, or if I was paying more attention to the side, like that's one you run back in your head in the shower, right?
I don't know if there's any way to know really what he was thinking without asking him. That's just such a weird one because like in the replay it looks kind of close. Like obviously you see Mist going for him. That's generally the accepted practice, the way to cut down the 2-on-1. You try and get out in front of it, see if you can dodge that first guy early and give yourself a look. And I don't know, maybe Typical just made a really, really big brain play. It was just like, just shoot it. He's going to come forward because he knows he's going to be in the 1-on-1 or the 2-on-1. So I don't know. That's Chronic just kind of got caught in no man's land, and that was a tough play to try and make, and Typical outdid him.
It might be the truest caught between a rock and a hard place that I've seen.
Yeah, because like if you sit back, I mean, obviously your odds aren't good. And clearly if you go forward, your odds aren't good. That's tough.
Tough spot for Chronic.
Hello?
But you got apparently Jack on your team, and when old Applejack is hitting them, you can feel a little bit better heading into Neo Tokyo.
Oh, a typical mechanical backflip. I think he realized he was definitely beat to the wall, and Mist is the guy behind him, but he's thinking he's got enough time to go get boost. Typical's there, right? It'll be all right. Not that time.
And you start early, and that's got to do wonders to help erase the stink of the end of that last game. Nolly, she shuffled that ball back out to Jack. Nicely handled by first killer on the side wall. Typical. Dropped it straight down, saved by Nolly.
Okay. Big pressure from FaZe.
First killer. Forced 2 to commit, but Typical was playing for first killer to push that over to the right. And now Chronic might make a pay. What a shot from Chronic! Oh my goodness! 170 degrees on that one.
Does he care how last game ended? Absolutely not. Just a bit of perfect timing with the bounce out of the corner. Mist is thinking he's going to go off the wall. I'm going to start heading up early so I can go get to the bounce first. Wrong. Straight into the net. Beauty of a shot from Chronic.
Gen.G increased the lead a little further. It's typical. First killer jumps immediately for that ball, but Nolly just in the perfect spot.
It's happened, Jorby. The final inverse of the situation. Now it's Gen.G with the 2-goal lead with 4 minutes to play. And I want to see how much pressure they try and put on FaZe. Because, like, you know what FaZe look like. They're like, oh, fake challenge, we'll force you to bring the ball. And I want to see how Gen.G handle that.
I mean, first killer thinks it's time to hit go mode. That probably doesn't happen. That probably doesn't happen until like 3 down, right? I mean, you got to lead this series still. Not that you want to see Game 7, but I don't think we've seen first killer go mode yet.
Every trick in the book's about to come out for FaZe. Obviously, they want to clear it and close it out right here. No one likes the Game 7s. Stressful in double elimination. But at the same time, did they just give up 3? Yes, they did. Apparently, Jack walks it all the way to the bank, Jorby. Cash another one. Unlucky. Not a bad touch for Mist. The idea is correct. Throw it into your own half, follow it back into the corner, and collect your corner boost and head out. But surprise, surprise, there's a blue Finnick waiting for you at the midfield line.
I really didn't think that things were going to go completely according to script today. Granted, I never know what the script is until the games are starting to play. Typical, this is contact. 8 defended anyway. Are we really going to have 28 out of a possible 28?
We're going 28 today.
Is that actually happening?
If Gen.G drop a 3-0 lead with half a game to play, someone come up with some silly challenge for me to do on Twitter. There is no way they drop.
That's dangerous. FaZe is on the other side. I wouldn't put a bet like that.
I don't care how good FaZe offense is. You're not scoring 3 against how well defensively Gen.G has been playing this series. I mean, Gen.G's defense, they've had to work pretty hard, and they've done a beautiful job of it.
Typical Ripper. Nolly again in the perfect spot. He's not got caught out in a couple of games now. FaZe missed, shortening the field with that touch. And apparently Jack ready for it. Apparently Jack ready for this as well. FaZe continuing to test their ability on the backboard. First killer shot denied by Chronic, and he gets it right over Typical. A great follow-up. Mist has to pull it back. Now it gets a little harder as the Gen.G defense achieves. It's proving you right so far.
It's the set up the campsite at the midfield line. We're going to hang out here for a moment. Ain't got nothing to do but waste time if you're on Gen.G. This is the formality, so to speak, at this point. And they've got a whole minute off the clock.
Mist really trying something. Like, all right, I'll go for the touch midair bump.
See, there's first
pull him off.
I'm going to go up the backboard and hit the spike straight down, do something.
I think he just wanted to delete him.
Get it going.
I think you just want to get like the Gen.G players off the field at this
point.
Because you can't get them off the backboard.
Literally anything, but Gen.G giving nothing away. I thought this one was going to be all about the offense. I was dead wrong. It's defensive showcase for everybody today.
That's what I was wondering too. But first killer, it's a good drop, but only decent. Missed. Denied by apparently Jack once more. First killer denied by apparently Jack once more. First killer denied by Nolly once more. And Gen.G, it feels like just another day at the office on defense, despite the pressure here from FaZe. Really, how many of these turned into quality shot opportunities? They only got a few of them.
Not many.
Gen.G,
they got 11 shots, but they're not scary ones.
Yeah.
11 looks good on the box score, but you take a look at what those 11 looked like, and you're like, don't know if you really had much going there.
It's like the poof goal explosion. That's how you feel about it. How about it achieves? Out of 28 games played, that could be played. We're going to play all 28 of them. I need a direct check, okay? I need it as quick as possible. How many times does that happen? First killer, great job. Put that on your placard as the participation trophy for Game 6. Congratulations. You were here.
Hey, that makes him 1 for 7. He doesn't have a 0% shooting percentage for game
That's
6.
the most
what
important
matters.
part. Yeah. D-Rec tells me that it's never happened before, by the way. This is he says he's 90% on that. That it scares me that the stats guy is telling me he's 90%. Like
I'm like
terror
90% on it too. I think we've been very close to going max distance before, but we've always been 1 or 2 games short or something. But here's my one big worry going into game 7. If you're a Gen.G fan, you're hyped up. You're playing really well, and I'm with you. Gen.G is playing really well. What I'm worried about, I still feel like FaZe Clan has like one more gear. You know what I mean? I feel like I've seen the gamut of Gen.G here. I've seen the solid defense. I've seen the execute on mistakes. We've seen the really nice plays on offense. I think you're seeing like rock solid. Here's where Gen.G wants to be at a base level. This is what we like to play and what we like to do. I think you've seen the full spectrum. I don't feel like you've got everything out of FaZe Clan right here in game 7, in game 28 on the day. I feel like FaZe Clan, here's where the last gear comes up. And Gen.G, now you got to prove it once more that the defense is up to the task.
Rocket League fans, it doesn't get much better than this. Your 4th game 7 in all 4 of our matches today. And FaZe are forced to respond after Gen.G really dominated game number 6. Missed back over to first killer, denied by Chronic. And they definitely got to turn up the heat if they want to beat Gen.G here. And what a win for Gen.G it would be if they can pull it off. Missed. Gonna take it out over. First killer gonna wait for this pass. Love to get the offense going. First killer with the quick preset switch to try to really seal the deal. And Mist gets a good challenge over to Typical. Doesn't have enough boost, but it's okay. He's got Mist. Back over to first killer, denied by Chronic. Jack's going to be next up, and FaZe or Typical, he wasn't going to be able to go for it anyway. Chronic's ready for that.
I'm waiting to see the can opener from first killer. I'm waiting to see him go and just break people down over and over. That's what I'm looking for. That's the gear I'm referencing.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's these types of games where like you need him to hit go mode. Like,
yes.
Press talk all day about how first killer's the best player in the world, but like we got to see the best player in the world.
You need the best player right now.
Right now.
No more time to wonder. I mean, that's what we were saying about beast mode yesterday. It's like, they kind of need beast mode, and it was a struggle to get through there. You got the big beast mode button today, so looking for a similar level of impact here in game 7. FaZe Clan trying their best. They've held a decent amount of pressure at the start of this game 7. And that's a really awkward save from Mist, but great support from Typical. Gen.G with really their first chance to try and have an extended stay, but they just give it up in terms of looking for stability on defense instead of trying to force something that may not be there.
Chronic gets a full field clear on that. Despite all of FaZe lined up on that side. Now Nolly, it's a look, but just didn't have enough boost. His touch the ball a little too far away from him. Mist ready for that 50 for Chronic, but can he win 2? He can. 31 left for Chronic. He's got Nolly coming in to help. First killer gets the catch, and Jack's not to be thwarted with. That fake was never going to work. Jack cut him off completely. Nolly reading Mist well there. You talked about Mist challenge game. Wow. In the corner as well. But how about Nolly's challenge game as well? Hang on a second. First killer. Passing Chronic, and there's just not much there.
Chronic's big right now. He's got a lot of presence on the pitch. I mean, you think, okay, FaZe got the big touch, they're through, but the guy waiting for it's Chronic. He's been big hurdle to try and get over. Nolly off the wall, free ball for first killer. Actually, a big missed touch. Typical trying to cover up, and FaZe, you need a big clear here to reset. Goes a little flat. This is going to build a lot of extra pressure here for Gen.G.
Jack up next for it. Oh, that high touch. First killer's ready for that. Still, Jack got the 50. That makes things awkward for the rest of FaZe. Like you said, you could use some help. 2 cars got it done this time. This still stuck on no boost, trying to stay in the rotation. We'll finally get a corner. Gen.G still have the ball. Jack just sitting there. He's win the touch. Big time. Nolly puts it in. Apparently, Jack swipes away the FaZe defense.
You're just looking for the vent valve to release all the pressure. They can't find it. You think maybe that's the touch to the midfield. Nolly sends it straight back into the mix, and a double commit from FaZe throws off the structure. It gets tipped away. No one's in position to catch the follow-up, and now FaZe backs against the wall. No more time to think about it. The demo comes through. First killer's gonna tie it up.
If you can't beat them, you delete them. FaZe back on the board. None of that defensive nonsense this time.
Wow.
Mist is done with it.
I like how Nolly recognized it like halfway through as he's flying back as well. He's like, oh, my teammate's about to get demoed. I gotta try. I respect the effort. Unfortunately, there's just no way, but it kicks straight to apparently Jack. And unfortunately, no legs on the push, so overtime looming potentially. 90 seconds is a while.
First killer, his touch taken away. Nolly and apparently Jack were given leeway. Mist. Want to take an unfavorable 50. Now first killer. He's behind the ball. He wants two, but getting too far out. Typical going to play it hard against the side. Here FaZe go again off the sidewall air dribble. Now first killer off the sidewall. Just potted. Nothing there for FaZe. Gen.G can get set up. Nolly with an on-touch.
Oh, Chronic needs
Call it what you want to.
too slow. Yeah. Should be cleared. Wait, what? I thought FaZe was going to go challenge the ball, and they just let it come at him. That's
not over.
Oh, first killer couldn't get there. Nolly will make sure it goes in. First killer expends the boost tank. He can't get there. Apparently, Jack behind them again puts Gen.G in scoring position.
What a show from Gen.G. Now you've done it. You've got the lead. How do you hold them off for 45? You know, here comes everything from FaZe.
First killer on the reset. Had a missed demo maybe to help him out, but now he was already
across.
down to 50. Big shot, typical denied by apparently Jack. First killer. Hard pass and Mist has to dive around. Chronic's not going to get there, but he will protect his boost. Midfield boost, first killers, but he's got Chronic. Now he's lost it. Apparently Jack home for the bump. Chronic wins another 50. Apparently Jack head on turn, but first killer gets there in time. And he needs that boost, but he just gave up the ball. He missed. Pop it up. Time running out for FaZe.
Love it. Great coverage in the midfield.
Typical Gen.G stopping him. Chronic is there. A little bit more for Gen.G to take down the full open regional champions. Apparently Jack, he knows it. Forces the 50, but it's still in the air. Typical got the catch pass over the Mist. Denied.
Okay, trap it.
Nolly's catching it, and first killer keeps it in the air. Up high.
No boost.
Jack lets it drop down. Gen.G and 7 move on to the semifinals.
Oh, my goodness gracious me. I thought there was no way. FaZe, I thought they had another gear. Try as they might, just jammed in the transmission. Gen.G catch them stalling out, and they advanced to the grand finals. Was it an uphill battle? I mean, considering how they dug themselves a hole at the start of the game, absolutely.
Yeah,
or at the start of the series, excuse me.
Three times. Well, no, sorry. Gen.G did win the first game.
They won the first game, and then they lost the next two because of own goals.
Right.
And then it was just like...
Then they lost.
And then they tied it. Then they... Yes. In short, Gen.G, defensive masterclass. Beautiful show. I really was wondering how they were going to keep FaZe out. The answer, I mean, they locked first killer out. You think that's the guy who gets the job done, sets it all up. You know, he's the playmaker. He's the one that gets things going. And Gen.G was just like, nah, man, you're not good enough. I mean, what a show defensively for Gen.G. And you know, generally the saying is defense wins championships. Well, it also gets you into the semifinals, too.
Jack almost falling out of his chair at that last goal, knowing that they just sealed the fates of FaZe Clan. An excellent job overall by Gen.G, but such a close day overall. Swiss was hectic. Today was hectic, and I just don't think anybody can guess anymore. I'm just thinking back to Chrome's interview when he said, you know what, there's no free games. Like you could just drop out of Swiss entirely, like G2 did. But it might be Space Station next regional. It might even be FaZe. We don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen next time. NA's crazy, man. I got nothing to Chiefs. How about the desk? Do they have stuff? They're ready. How about you guys?